Okay, first we're gonna prepare the motherboard. I took it out of the box. I'm gonna use these SATA cables and I/O panel for the back of the case. I don't need anything else from the box, so that's what I took out. I'll leave out the rest. And first I'm gonna remove these top brackets for the CPU cooler, because we're gonna be using AMD stock cooler, which does not require those. I'm throwing them out. You can keep them just in case, because there are some coolers, if you want to upgrade to like liquid cooler in the future, some liquid coolers use those brackets. I don't need them, I got a whole bunch of them. Now, the processor. Carefully open up the box, don't drop the processor. We don't need the box. That's the CPU here. Some manuals. I keep them. That's our cooler. Now, thermal paste already here. It's a basic stock AMD Wraith Stealth cooler that comes with 3600 processors, and we're gonna be installing it in this system. And it has got 4 screws here which go in these 4 holes. That's why I removed the top brackets, because they are not required here. To install the processor, lift up the bracket lever here. Now, there is a little corner here. You're not going to be able to see it on the video, I bet. And there is a little golden corner here as well. But as a rule of thumb, if you put motherboard with rear ports towards you, and then you see on the processor says Ryzen, if you can read it, you can put it in the slot like this. If it doesn't fit, don't force it in. You're gonna bend the pins and void the warranty. That's it. The sticker, you can put it on the case later if you want. I'm gonna keep it here on the side. Now, the thermal paste, that's a lot of it. They really put a lot of it. You really need like a pea-sized drop or maybe less. So, if you ever gonna remove that cooler once it's installed and you remove it, you'll see that thermal paste is gonna be spread all over the processor, like all over the side of it, and it's just nasty. So what I'm doing is removing the excess on the sides, and it's not gonna hurt anything because whatever's in the middle gonna spread out to the sides, and still it's probably gonna be too much, but it's gonna look better either way. Now, I removed that. What I'm doing next is placing it on top, so all holes match with those screws, and there are springs on the sides. There are springs here, so when you start screwing it in, you have to press on the screwdriver a little bit, and you can hear the resistance of the spring. You can literally hear it here. So thread in all the screws, just a few turns to make sure you got it. Now it's already holding in place and backplate's not gonna fall, and it's better to install the CPU cooler while you have motherboard on the table, because once it's inside of the case and you remove top brackets, that backplate gonna fall and you have to support it somehow from the bottom. That's the easiest way. Now you can finish them off one by one in a pattern like this. Do not do one side and then the other. Go across and then here. Do not over tighten them as well, because you can damage the screws. Now I'm gonna hide the wire under the shroud here, so it's gonna look pretty, just like that. That's it. The CPU is installed, motherboard is ready to go into the case.